What's going on, everybody? It's the Frost. I'm here for AEW on TBS review for November the 9th, 2022. We are 1 week away from Full Gear. We have ourselves a good promo. We have a good show tonight with a turn on, Saraya gives us her idea of gives us her entirety of what's going to happen with her. Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara in the main event. We have Jeff Jarrett's intentions also on this show as well. And so much more. We also kick off the title eliminated tournament. The winner will be getting a match. And I hate when people are like, oh, AEW is doing too many tournaments. Why are they doing another tournament? This is the third year we have done the eliminator tournament. Last year, it was won by Bryan Danielson. The year before that, it was won by Kenny Omega. This year, we have a nice sized tournament with all but one of the first round tournaments going on Friday. What the start of the tournament was tonight, and we started that off after the first match, which was the Acclaimed and FTR versus Swerve and Our Glory and the Guns. So this match, of course, has come together because Swerve and Our Glory is going to be taking on the Acclaimed. The Guns want to face off against FTR. Swerve Strickland, of course, him and Keith Lee are having their problems right now, which eventually will lead to Keith Lee being betrayed by Swerve Strickland, probably after their loss to the Acclaimed at Full Gear next Saturday. Now, before the match could even start, FTR comes out, the Acclaimed come out, Billy Gunn's not with them. Before they are even able to get in the ring, Billy Gunn runs down from the back, runs into the ring, and just starts beating the shit out of Swerve Strickland. So that's the way you want to start this show off. Good on them. So he gets BJ Whitmer comes out to get him to go away. So you have the match here. It was a nice, fun 8-man tag team match. Now, it wasn't as the one problem I've had with AEW's 8-man and most 8-man, 10-man, whatever tag team matches, they go all over the fucking place. We get that in WWE, we get that here. I'm pertain to the traditional 2-on-2 tag team. I'm not really a big fan of trios either because they break down badly as well. Same thing happened here as well. It just is what it is. Now, Keith Lee and them get taken out. Mic drop onto Austin. His brother, Colton, gets hit with the big rig. 1, 2, 3. The Acclaimed and FTR pick up the win. Fun for people who like it. I'm not a big fan of these big, huge multi-team matches. We had an exclusive video clip from a podcast that MJF did when the podcast host asked him how he's feeling after being beaten down. People wondering, where was MJF last week? Why didn't we see MJF last week? Obviously, the biggest reason was MJF got taken out by the Firm, thrown through a table. So, of course, it would have been a bad... you know how many people bitched and complained because MJF came on the Wednesday after Double or Nothing and did not sell at all the match between him and Wardlow and the beatdown he took between Wardlow. Now you're getting upset because he wasn't there the very next week after being put through a table and left for pretty much dead by the Firm. He says that the Firm, he consulted some doctors of his after the cowardly attack by the Firm, and if he wants to be 110% at Full Gear, he shouldn't be on the road. He says this is the most important match of his career. This could be the most important match in the sport. This create the face of the next generation. He's been seen with people like The Rock, Bruno Sammartino, John Cena. They're all generational talent like him. He says he needs a long title run to put his name in the history books, and he has to beat Jon Moxley for that. He thinks Jon Moxley is a low life, no good piece of shit, but he does respect him because he was born with 2 left feet and no athletic bone in his body. He respects him because he wasn't born to be a world champion, and he worked hard to defy the odds and drive far to take no money. However, Moxley then became the best on earth, but MJF was born to be a professional wrestler, and he can do movies, TV shows, and fly a flag of wrestling. He thinks he can get the people talking about the business again. He says the throne is for his taking, and he will do that. He is tired of waiting. He is tired of all the spotlight being taken away from him, such as his match with Cody Rhodes. His first pay-per-view singles match. Cody Rhodes debuted his neck tattoo, I believe, around that time, and people were focusing on that. His first world title match against Jon Moxley at All Out in 2020, everyone was talking about the bad injury that Matt Hardy had. He claims Jericho took the spotlight from him for a year. Then we returned to the spotlight. Then he returned his return at All Out. His spotlight was taken by a press conference. But at Full Gear, he is grabbing it, and Moxley will have to pry it from his dead hands. And at Full Gear, the devil gets his due. Very good promo here. Of course, this is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He is a generational talent, and I said it back in 2020. There was no reason for him to win the world title at that time. He wasn't ready. It wasn't his time. Now is Max's time. It is time to crown a new world champion. Obviously, this was supposed to be CM Punk versus MJF. Probably, more than likely, was supposed to happen at Grand Slam for that title shot. But if everything would have worked out the way it was supposed to, CM Punk was supposed to win the title Double or Nothing, hold it all the way to All Out, beat whoever it was going to be, not named Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was going to be doing something with the JAS and the BCC probably on that pay-per-view. And then MJF was going to make his return at All Out, and then he was going to win the poker chip. He was going to go to either Grand Slam or Full Gear, and it was going to be CM Punk versus MJF. Well, things didn't work out that way, and CM Punk, don't know what's going on with him, don't really care right now. That is not the here nor there. We'll worry about that when news comes out. I'm not talking about no fucking rumor of innuendo when it comes to Punk. Some people say this, some people say that. I don't give a shit until we actually know concrete evidence. And then you have people saying, oh, well, Colt Cabana being on TV last week proves that CM Punk was the reason he was gone. Shut the fuck up. It's a bullshit lie, and y'all fucking know it. But we go with that. When news comes out that, hey, Punk is gone or whatever else, or Punk's coming back, we'll talk about it then. Until then, shut it. There's nothing. AEW's not even talking to him, so shut the fuck up about CM Punk. Let it fucking go. Let other things go through right now. But this was a great promo. Nothing else you can say about that. MJF is going to be your next AEW World Champion. It would be a massive mistake. Yes. Oh, well, Jon Moxley just won the title again at Full Gear at Grand Slam. He should have another long title run. He was never supposed to be champion in 2022. He was never supposed to be an interim champ. He was never supposed to have any title reigns but that first one back in 2020. It's just a temporary champion right now, and we're going to go with this. Can't wait to see what happens and how it's done. Obviously, people are wondering, is William Regal going to turn on Jon Moxley and join MJF? And I'm thinking, unless you're completely dismantling the Blackpool Combat Club on that night or the next Wednesday, there is literally no reason to have Regal turn on Jon Moxley. Because if he turns on Jon Moxley, you might as well just say the BCC is done. And no, not yet. We get a video of Stokely halfway saying he thought that he'd be MJF's size when he became world champion. Instead, he's dick riding Jon Moxley. He says, win, lose, or draw at Full Gear, he will see Max in hell. Eddie Kingston versus Ethan Page is the first round of the title eliminator tournament. I don't know why we didn't have 2 matches tonight and 2 matches on Friday, but for whatever reason, they're going to jam all 3 matches, the rest of the tournament, first round, on Friday, which I'm pretty sure is being taped right now. Like, we're not doing live in November until next week. But so this is a good match, and Kingston actually had the match won. He had the stretch plume on, but Stokely Hathaway gets up on the apron, distracting the referee. Ortiz, who was out there with Eddie Kingston, took his sweet ass time to grab Stokely and pull him down and chase him off. He could have went over there, pulled him down, chased him off, and still allowed Eddie Kingston to win, but he took his sweet ass time. So then eventually, now the distraction didn't lead automatically to the victory for Ethan Page. There was no low blow, then Ego's Edge or anything. They actually wrestled for another 5 minutes, it felt like. Maybe 2 or 3. But it felt like for another 5 minutes before the match actually ended. Page hits a boot, roundhouse cage. Page heads to the top turnbuckle, but Kingston chases him and bites his head off. Page slips under and pushes him further onto the turnbuckle, hits the avalanche, Ego's Edge. That looked like that hurt. 1, 2, 3, and Ethan Page picks up the win. Good match there. Obviously, I think Ethan Page could possibly go to the finals, and if Ricky Starks makes it out of his side, which everyone expects him to, we could see Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks at the pay-per-view, and that would be fine by me. This was a waste of time. First off, Renee Paquette is backstage with Roosh in the Dark Order. Jose tells Ten that Roosh is going to win this whole tournament. He's going to become world champion, and Ten will get the first title shot as Roosh likes the way he looks and how his intensity has in the ring. Roosh says, you better consider this because I don't give second opportunities that often. Then we go back to the ring, and Ari Daivari is in the ring with VSK. He says he wants to give an opportunity to give him a championship. He doesn't want to work for it, he just wants to buy it. And in return, he will give his butler services to the TNT champion. This leaves the Wardlow and Samoa Joe making their way out for an impromptu title match as Wardlow versus Ari Daivari. This match lasts 20, 30, maybe 40 seconds. Lariat, powerbomb, 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 1, 2, 3, and that is that. After the match, Wardlow calls out Powerhouse Hobbs, and he says finally he's got a suitable opponent and he thanks him for coming out like a man. However, he says the title will always be his, and he's going to take every title in this company. And of course, at this time, until Ring of Honor has TV, the Ring of Honor championships are in this company. So, what do you expect to happen here? Samoa Joe takes his belt and whacks Wardlow behind in the back, knocking him on his ass, knocking him over. He puts on the Coquina clutch, puts him to sleep, stands tall in the ring. He says something to him we can't see, and Wardlow and Hobbs wants to make sure that he had nothing to do with this. This was not a in cahoots thing. He says, you know what, Joe? Fine, I'll kick your ass too. I want that TNT title. I'll kick both your asses. So we could see a triple threat match between these two at Full Gear. I think this is not the time to turn on for this to happen. Wardlow should go into Full Gear against Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs cheats to win the championship. And then the Wednesday after, which is 2 weeks from now, Wardlow comes out, him and Joe come out. Wardlow cuts a huge-ass promo and says the same thing about he's going to take all the championships. He wants his title back, and he's going to take every championship in this company. Then he gets attacked from behind into the Coquina clutch, and that sets up for a final battle between Wardlow and Samoa Joe. I think it was a little too early for Samoa Joe to turn on Wardlow. So Saraya comes out with Shit Faker to talk about what is on her mind. But before that, Jade Cargill is backstage and says she will face Nyla Rose. If Nyla Rose is on Friday for Rampage, she will handle that ass herself. Ronnie's in the ring. Here comes Shit Faker. Here comes Saraya. And Saraya takes the mic and says, unfortunately for Shit, she is 100% cleared. What you could just see as she's saying she is 100% clear, she is breaking down. She has the emotion in the ring, standing ovation. She said AEW is her house, with trying to not cry, but also crying at the same time. And you could just tell that this woman in 2014? No. That was her debut in WWE. 2017, right? Her career. It was 2017. She got hit in the back on an errant kick by Sasha Banks, and she was forced to retire. But she was able to hold. They were able to hold her back until the night after WrestleMania in 2018, and she retired. She had a career taken away from her for just being a professional wrestler. So to be able to come out there and tell you, I am 100% clear after years and years and years of being told no, 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 no. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Something that she has been doing for all of her life. She was in her mother's womb when her mother was wrestling a match. She has been in this business before she was even born. And to get it taken away from her by just some injury bug has to be one of the most deflating things in her life. And able to go out there, get the right medical treatment, get everything done, doctors, and everything, and being able to go out there and say, I am 100% clear. You gotta feel for her. Happiness comes out of her. You could just tell that she is the happiest I think she has ever been in her life since she's been retired. She can be on Twitch and have 100 people in there at a time talking to her and everything and just being all pals and everything. But to be able to go out there, and do the thing that she was meant to do in this company, in this world, again, has got to be so great. It's so invigorating for her. I can't wait. And then shit Faker has to go on the mic and say, I've never anything more, isn't the question is if there's anything more fickle than an AEW fan, and asks if Saraya knows how to do this anymore. She questions why she's been going after her, and she says she built AEW from the ground up. It's become a fortress that superstars like her wanted to move in, and she's proud of that. Bitch, whatever fortress you've actually made is gotta be the weakest ass fortress I have ever seen. If you had your fortress built up and an army was coming to tear it down or come out and breach it, they would have absolutely no problem breaching whatever fortress that you have made. You are an absolute waste of time. She says that pride turns into resentment quickly when Saraya skipped in and calls her house because shit Faker doesn't recall her laying a single brick. Saraya put her in her fucking place. I love everything that came after that. She says it's cute that she put herself on a pedestal and was given the spot by Tony Khan and got fed QT's trainees. And she says shit Faker doesn't know what it takes to be a star, let alone a superstar. She traveled around the UK and Europe for free because she loves this business. She was hit by a car and wrestled that same day because she loves this business. Saraya says that she was starting revolutions before they were even a trend, or wrestling was a twinkle in the shit Faker's eye. She's done Madison Square Garden, the O2, Tokyo Dome, and now is in this arena, in this ring, in front of an ungrateful bitch. She has been humiliated in front of people, in front of the world. She dealt with her drug issues publicly and gave her neck for this business, yet shit Faker doesn't know what it takes to make it. Says this is her comeback story in the biggest match of shit Faker's career, as she announces it will be her versus shit Faker at Full Gear. And then the coward that she is, shit Faker tries to attack, but Saraya grabs her and hits her with her, what the hell did she call it in WWE? Her, it is a don't, I know it's Joseph Connor's independent DDT, where she has her up in a thing and then DDTs her down. I think she called it no, it wasn't the page turn, that was the other thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's definitely the Righteous Kill DDT, but Joseph Connors used to do before he changed it to Don't Look Down or something in WWE and did something else. But she looked great there. She was great, and you could just see the fact that shit Faker is just watching her be torn asunder. She got ripped from front to back, left to right. She got just torn down and put in her fucking place. And I bet you this woman is still not going to be humbled. Saraya went out there and there was not a single thing that she did not say that was a fucking lie. Everything that Saraya said is everything that I've been saying and everyone else has been saying who have been negative about shit Faker for years. This woman is not humble. This woman is an egomaniac. She thinks that she is the be-all, end-all, put on a pedestal by Tony Khan, which needs to be knocked off her pedestal ASAP. Doesn't know how to be a star. Is being told by Tony Khan and his cronies backstage that she is the second coming of the wrestling gods or whatever. And she got put in her place, and you could just see that someone finally being able to be allowed to put her where she belongs. Saraya needs to win at Full Gear. Shit Faker needs to go away, go be a dentist, go be Adam Cole's girlfriend, and let Saraya, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, and others build this division into the fortress she claims it is, because right now, it's not even close. If you want to say this is your fortress, this would be like going out on a snowy afternoon, building your fortress or an igloo, and someone just coming in and kicking it down. That's what this fortress of shit fakers has been since day one. Jay Lethal versus Trent Beretta was our next match. This was very fucking awkward. Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt sat in a single backstage. They're paying Cole Carter his due for what he did last week with Sting. The best friends in Orange Cassidy come in. Danhausen's not happy about having Lee Johnson turn evil and join the factory. QT Marshall's like, you like defending that All-Atlantic Championship, don't you, Orange? How about you face off against Lee Johnson? And Orange Cassidy's like, sure, fine, whatever. And he leaves. Then they do this weird-ass camera cut, and it's Trent Beretta, and he's calling the Jay Lethal and them scumbags, and it was just out of nowhere. He's like, you guys are a bunch of scumbags, and I'll do something about it, as I will face you in the ring tonight. As Trent Beretta comes down to the ring, Jay Lethal attacks him from behind, packing his knee, starting the fight early. The bell rings. This match pretty much is just him getting his knee absolutely destroyed. Lethal combination, continues to take time. Slight gets up on the apron as it looks like Trent Beretta is getting some offense in. Danhausen gets up. He goes to do some. Satnam Singh also gets up on the apron. He goes to Kurt Satnam and then turns around and punches Sanjay in the dick. Satnam takes him down. It takes him down. Lethal combination. Lethal injection. 1, 2, 3. Jay Lethal picked up the win. After the match, which the match just felt, it was so random and just so out of the blue. I don't know what the fuck the point of it was. But we get up on the up top, and Doc tells him to shut up. He's welcomes out Jeff Jarrett, who says he's here because his friend called. A friend shows up. They put a plan together, and he explains how they connect as he signed Jay Lethal to his first big-time deal. I'm pretty sure he wrestled for Ring of Honor beforehand, while he and Dutt have taken over several promotions all over the globe. He then says Satnam is a legitimate giant and says not someone who wears red skinny jeans, which was absolutely a shot at Braun Strowman, which is absolute funny as shit, even though Braun Strowman can actually go in the ring compared to Satnam, who doesn't wrestle that often. Jarrett then says he'll put Sting in a body bag while a crew member appears to tell him it's time to wrap it up. He gets angry at him and then chases him with the guitar and to end the segment. So it was announced that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett will take on Darby Allin and Sting at Full Gear. And says he was young when he thought he knew it all when he first met William Regal and he loved to talk trash. He wanted to be like Regal and wanted to be feared and respected, that he's got his respect. He tried to pick a fight with him, and that didn't go too well, as Regal kicked the hell out of him, pissed him off. As he found out he was on the food chain, he had to go in a ball, and then the next time, he knocked Regal out and ripped his ear off, he said. And it says that reminds him of MJF, and says right now, he doesn't know, as he is having an existential crisis. He talks the talk of a big big-time world champion, but Moxley is a multi-millionaire and multi-time world champion, so he's not buying, and he says it is amusing that MJF calls himself the devil. And he says he's met the devil, looked him in the eyes, and he's done some very bad things, and seen him do very bad things, and MJF is not that at all. Moxley and Regal want MJF to fulfill his potential, and he's not worried about that. He's worried about what is in his guts. He says MJF needs to remember that everything he's done up until now has been easy, and drops the mic. So, another good promo by Jon Moxley. I can't wait to get this match underway so we can see where it goes. We get another vignette for the Elite. This one definitely, absolutely is pointing to Full Gear. Every single time they're showing like clips and stuff and videos and like pictures of the Elite, but every so often they're splicing in the Full Gear like poster and Full Gear like video package and everything, without sound of course, but they're just like clearly the Elite return at Full Gear. What are they going to do? I don't know. Is it going to be that they're going to get a title match for the 6-man titles right away, which I don't think they should, honestly, just because of their transgressions. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They should have been good little boys and stayed in the locker or waited to talk to Tony Khan before they talked to CM Punk. And then after that, you could have went and let the boss do what he needed to do. So they should not be coming back and immediately be given the 6-man tag team championships. I'm sorry, the trios championships don't. That's just rewarding bad behavior. Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue. This was a nice, fun little match for the women. Jamie Hayter wins after a couple chops in a major, which she's been doing her version of the Rainmaker to pick up the win. Fine by me. Not much interference, even though Tony Storm was out there, Shit Faker and Reba was out there. Good on them. Jamie Hayter needs to get away from those two. She would be a massive star on her own. Then she grabs the women's championship and kisses it, which tells me she's not winning next week. Lance Archer is shown backstage attacking Mickey Stark, storming in the metal guard. They will face up on Rampage. Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. This match was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Basically, the gist of this is Sammy Guevara and Bryan Danielson were having themselves a nice little decent start of the match. Sammy gets the chair, throws it at Bryan Danielson, gets DQ'd. At the break, I was watching the international feed, so I didn't have to worry about commercials. He gets a microphone and starts smacking and just smashing it into Danielson's head, beating the shit out of Danielson where he got a cut from probably the chair being thrown at him. He's just beating the shit out of him. He gets in the ring. Next thing you know, he hits a GTH. 1, 2, 3. We have ourselves a final one-to-one match. And then, just like all 2 out of 3 falls, it's just how it is with all these 2 out of 3 falls matches. First 2 falls go by quick. The third fall is where you need to be. This is why I don't like 2 out of 3 falls matches. Just like all the other ones I've seen. It's like done, and then we have that third fall. And that third fall is where everything's at. And these two had a hell of a match. Bryan Danielson was busted on the face. Sammy Guevara on the outside was chopping him. His chest was red. And Bryan Danielson looked very, 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 very fucked up in a mess by the end of this match. Danielson gets the ropes, avoids another GTH, and as he bounces back to the ropes, he manages to hit another Blue Psycho knee. He wiggles on commentary. It's like, cover him, Danielson. What are you doing? Cover him. Danielson gets up. He's playing to the crowd. He's going to stomp his fucking head in or kick his fucking head in. Goes to do that. But so Guevara is able to get out of that and hits a backflipping DDT, but goes for high risk. Danielson gets the knees up on the senton. Hammered and elbow strikes before he puts in the LeBeau lock. He holds it in. Sammy Guevara tries to go with his other hand to reach the ropes. Danielson's able to grab that, get both of them stretched backwards, and has him in the LeBeau lock so bad that he has no choice but to verbally submit to. And this is how they used to submit. Before Ken Shamrock came in and everyone started tapping, this is how submission holds would go. You would verbally submit. So bringing that back to the good old days, and Bryan Danielson picks up the win. And the show ends with Danielson looking into the camera, probably saying some words, and you can just see the blood on his face, the red chest. This dude looked like he was a fucking mess. Overall, it was a pretty good show tonight. AEW is on full cylinders going into Full Gear. We have the Eliminator Tournament, which will be figured out next week with the semifinals on both Friday and Wednesday, telling you who's going into Full Gear to face off for the championship. #1 contendership going into Winter is Coming. But that is all for tonight. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Mods at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/France Club. And find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Friday, which is going to be for SmackDown. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.